What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Avengers news update. Yes, I can finally say that yet again. LEGO Marvel Avengers news update. Oh man, it feels so good to be able to say that because I've just been waiting months for just to hear one thing about this game. One measly screenshot or a tiny sneak peek at a trailer, anything at all, I would have taken it, it would have just been great. But finally, after waiting so long, we have a trailer, and this trailer was incredible. I mean, really, my jaw hit the floor when I saw this trailer. It showed so much cool stuff, and it's just making me think how big this game is going to be. I mean, it's awesome. Now, this video is, of course, my trailer analysis, where I talk about what you might have seen in the trailer, and, of course, a few things that you might not have seen as well. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first off, of course, we can see New York City, and it hasn't really changed that much since we left it. Of course, first off, we can see that, Avengers Tower is there, well, not Avengers Tower. Actually, the funny thing is, what I think is going to happen in the game is that when we start playing it on the first movie, it's going to be Stark Tower, but I bet when you actually get to the Avengers Age of Ultron side of the story, I think the tower is actually going to change into the Avengers Tower from Avengers Age of Ultron. I mean, I could be wrong, but how cool would it be if there's like a switch in or maybe outside that tower, and you pull it, and then the tower changes depending on what you want. So do you want the city skyline to have Stark Tower or the Avengers Tower? Imagine if you got to choose that. That'd be really cool. Now, of course, the rest of the city as well doesn't really look that different, but it looks great. This is what I wanted. I wasn't bothered if there wasn't really that much of a change from the actual, map from LEGO Marvel. I don't really care if it's not that much different. I mean, yes, I would like some new things, and I would like to see some new content, but really, LEGO Marvel's Superheroes New York City is one of my favorite open worlds in a LEGO game yet, and so the fact that we're getting that again, but it's going to be a little different, it's going to have more of a Marvel Cinematic Universe spin on it, is great. And the other thing to mention is, in this part of the trailer, we see Iron Man flying from another island that wasn't actually accessible in the first game, because if you remember in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, there was a guy on a bridge, and the bridge was closed off, and he was like, he said there's nothing out there or something. There was like a little Easter egg where he said it's going to be closed for a very long time. What if this is the game where they're opening it up? What if we can now explore all the other islands of Manhattan that we couldn't explore at first? That would be amazing. Now, the rest of the island right here doesn't look that detailed. It actually looks quite low res. That could just be, it could be an old build of the game. It definitely seems like a few parts of the trailer look a bit low res, but I think that's just because it's an old build, and it'll definitely change in the final product. But this, this little, I'm not sure what to call that yet, this structure on the very far left, that's quite high res compared to everything else on this island, and that's making me think that we might be able to actually travel to this place in the game now. And plus, of course, there isn't even a barrier on the bridge anymore, so if we can go there as well as the island from the first game, that is going to make this open world pretty big, and that would be amazing. Next up, we can see a bunch of Jatari flying around outside the Stark Tower, and we can, of course, see the Quinjet fighting them. Now, here's the thing I was thinking about with the Jatari, because you see them a lot in this trailer, like a heck of a lot, because you do actually get to play through the Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. In the first Avengers movie, they're the main villain, basically. You see them loads at the end of the movie, so it makes sense to have them in this game, which is really cool. But I was thinking, the thing on top of Avengers Tower, I can't remember what it was, but it was basically opening the portal to space and getting all the Jatari onto Earth. How cool would it be if in free roam that is actually sitting on top of Stark Tower, and you can go up to it and you push it, and then it opens the portal, and then all the Jatari fly in, and it could kind of be like a free wave mode, you know what I mean? Like, there's no timer or anything like that. It's basically kind of like random crime. Instead of having a random crime system, you can literally just spawn a bunch of Jatari, and they come flying in from the portal, and you just get to fight endless waves of it. I think that would be really cool. I mean, you could basically recreate the Battle of New York in free roam at any time. I think that would be pretty cool. They could also maybe do something with Avengers Age of Ultron as well. There could be somewhere, maybe in Avengers Tower, you can activate Ultron or something, and then like a bunch of Ultron units get running into the city. There's just loads of really cool stuff you could do with things like that. And of course, once you got sick of it, you could just go back up to Avengers Tower or Stark Tower and just turn it off. I think that would be really cool, but we'll have to see. Next up, we can of course see Stark Tower with the portal on top, you know, opening up to the Chitauri. And this just looks even better, like I said. I mean, you can even see the crane works and everything outside Stark Tower. It just looks so cool. And honestly, guys, you know, they haven't actually said if this game is open world or not yet. They haven't said this at all. But come on, just looking at this trailer, the entire map from LEGO Marvel is rendered here. You see the whole thing. It's kind of obvious that it has to be open world. I mean, where else are you going to be able to run around in? I mean, to be honest, I think it would be teasing if they showed this entire render of the city and you can't even free roam there. I highly doubt that, honestly. I really do think that this game is open world again. And of course, you know, you might be thinking, well, what about Avengers Tower? That might be like the hub. Well, yes, I definitely think that. I definitely think that Avengers Tower and Stark Tower might be like buildings you can go inside and interact with stuff, but I still think that New York City will return and we will be able to free roam in it. And hey, you never know. I mean, there might be more than that because, of course, in Avengers Age of Ultron, they go to way more locations than just New York City. So I could definitely see more hubs than just New York, but I'm still hoping that this is the actual hub that we can free roam in, because this is the one I'll spend most of my time in, because I still love the New York City in LEGO Marvel today. It's just so cool. Another thing to mention about this picture before I go on to the next one is if you look carefully, you can see Iron Man flying up and you can see all the explosions and everything. It's just so cool. It's so accurate to the actual movie as well, which is awesome. Now, this is, of course, the famous scene from the very first Avengers movie with the nice camera work where it shows all the Avengers getting ready for the Chitauri to come flying down. We see, like, Iron Man getting ready, Hulk roaring and everything. It's all so accurate to the actual movie. It's great. It's really cool to also see that the first Avengers movie's costumes will be in the game, which is great because, you know, in the very first artwork we saw that the Avengers Age of Ultron suits will be in it as well. So, you know, if you prefer, like, Captain America from that, like I do, you'll still be able to play as that version, which is great. So, you know, if you've just seen this trailer and you're thinking, oh, so is this just the same game? No, absolutely not. There's going to be a lot of content from the first Avengers movie, but there's going to be loads of content from the other one as well, and hopefully other MCU movies, because they've definitely been teasing that. One thing I have noticed, though, is Hulk is bright green again. I think it would be much better. I mean, I'm not going to be disappointed if they don't do this, but I think it would be much better if they take the design from the Hulk in Avengers Age of Ultron sets and just use those pants. Those pants could work fine if it was just the same Hulk from those sets. But, you know, that's just a small gripe. I mean, if they don't do it, it doesn't really matter. Now here we get a really nice shot of Iron Man flying up, shooting all the Chitauri. We can of course see Thor at the bottom there and Loki where he's shouting at him. And just look at how much bigger Stark Tower looks in comparison to LEGO Marvel Superheroes' Stark Tower. It's just so much bigger, it's so much more accurate. It looks amazing. I mean, seriously, if we can go inside this building, I will be so happy because there is a certain thing that happens in this trailer, and honestly, the only real thing that is missing for me to make this game perfect, as in like the perfect Iron Man game basically, because I'm a massive Iron Man fan. He's my favorite Avenger. So if there's one more thing I would like to see them add that would make this perfect for me, is being able to go inside Stark Tower and just walk around as Tony Stark or Pepper or Rhodey, etc. That would just be so cool. So fingers crossed they do that. Next up, of course, we get a really nice look at the Chitauri in-game, and it's really great to see these characters are finally in LEGO Marvel's Avengers, because with LEGO Marvel Superheroes, they weren't in that game, and I was very curious, because even their little ship here that were flying around in the movies, that was actually in the game as well, so I was kind of confused why the actual Chitauri weren't in the game, but it makes sense now, you know, that it's actually in this game, and it's great, and nothing's been finalized, obviously, but it's kind of obvious that they're going to be playable. I mean, most henchmen that are in the LEGO games, some of them don't make it. I think the Extremis characters from Iron Man 3, you know, they weren't actually playable. There was one way you could play as them if you replayed, I think it was Rebooted, Resuited, I think it was called, in LEGO Marvel. If you played that and you play as Mystique and then you used her disguise ability, she would actually turn into an Extremis enemy and you could actually shoot the fireballs and everything. So that was kind of a way of playing it, but you could only play as that character once you did the disguise ability, so you couldn't do it in free roam or anything like that. So it's nice to see that the Chitauri are back, and hopefully, you know, characters like the Extremis will be playable as well, because I know some people don't like the henchmen. Some of them can be boring, but with Marvel, like the Chitauri and the Extremis and things, they're cool, so I would definitely like to see more things like that. Next up, we can see Captain America in his Avengers costume, getting his shield ready to throw at the Chitauri. We can also see on the very far left a brand new policeman. I haven't seen him in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. I think that's quite new. I don't know what he's pointing at. I don't think that lamppost is a threat, so he might be wasting his ammo there. But yeah, this is a pretty cool part of the trailer. One thing I wanted to mention here, though, is that Cap's fighting style is very similar, if not exactly the same, as the fighting style we saw him in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Now, some people might be like, what? That's stupid. They haven't changed it at all. Calm down, okay? The first thing you need to know is, with all my time covering these LEGO games, you know, LEGO Marvel Superheroes, LEGO Batman 3, and now LEGO Marvel's Avengers, I've always noticed this one thing. None of the characters are exactly the same when you actually play as it. For example, with LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, the first ever gameplay we got of Plastic Man, he played exactly like Mr. Fantastic. You know, he played exactly like him. There was barely any change. The only thing he did differently was the fact that he could turn into a plane. And that was it. There was nothing else. I think the toilet thing might have been in there, but I can't remember. But then the actual game, he fights completely different to Mr. Fantastic. I don't really remember any similar moves. So, you know, if you think that Captain America is fighting too similar to how he fought in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, don't worry, because, you know, it might just be a placeholder, and you never know, they might just be keeping that fighting style for that costume. I think it would be really cool if we get that fighting style for that costume, because that's what he fought like in that movie, and then we get like Winter Soldier and he fights really cool, and then Age of Ultron he fights really cool as well. Like these, it'd be cool to see the fighting style from each movie depending on which suit you're wearing. Kind of like how some people want to see like each Iron Man suit have their own abilities. They could do that for each character depending on the suit and depending on the movie they wore it in. I think that could work really well. I mean, you know, we'll have to see. Also, another thing to mention is there's some poles on the left hand side of the wall, so I guess that means the use of Black Widow or someone to swing on them and reach high areas. There's also a interesting one in the middle of the building. It's red and it's got a silver thing sticking out of it. I'm not sure what that could be. It might be for Hawkeye. Maybe he has to shoot an arrow into it, and then that's Black Widow can actually just jump to that one and then swing to the building. I'm not really entirely sure, but you know, it definitely seems like a lot of the things that you're used to seeing in the LEGO games, like these acrobatic things and these poles and things, I definitely think they're going to be returning in this game. Now, this is a very interesting part of the trailer because, of course, we can see the Quinjet blowing up a bunch of Chitauri, just like before. But here's the interesting thing. If you look to the very far left, we can see, of course, Stark Tower. Now, we can also see the entrance, and there are some studs there if you look very carefully. And also, I might be crazy, but I think the door is open. I actually think the door is open and you'll be able to go inside it. I know I've been talking about through the video how cool it would be if you could go inside, but it actually does look like it there. Even the interior looks like it's already made. And there is a part of the trailer where Loki throws Tony out of the, out the building like in the Avengers. It's all made. You know, that whole interior is actually designed. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if you can actually walk around in it. Plus, games like LEGO Jurassic World and LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, they're really showing now that you can actually go into these buildings. You know, like LEGO Jurassic World has like the Visitor Center, and LEGO Batman 3 had like Batcave and things like that. So it definitely seems like they're trying to push more, not just exteriors, but also interiors. And I really hope that is true, because it would just be so cool to walk around Stark Tower. Now, this is interesting. You see here Black Widow is fighting a bunch of the Chitauri. And here's the thing. I was trying to remember, did she have this exact move in LEGO Marvel Superheroes? Because I remember there was a move where if you change your attacks right, if you chain them right, I'm pretty sure she did a jump in the air and shot the guy. But in this, you see her shooting everywhere. So is this going to be like, are they introducing like special moves or something like that? That would be really cool. Because in the trailer we see her spin entirely around and just go, but in LEGO Marvel Superheroes she just did it to one guy. So tell me if I'm wrong or right, because I can't really remember if it was one guy or multiple guys. But from what I remember, I'm pretty sure she just shot one guy. But you know, we'll have to see. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is what I would absolutely call the money shot for this trailer. I mean, wow, it is just so cool. The first time I saw this, I had to rewatch it, I think, because I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I mean, first off, of course, you see Loki grab Tony Stark and throw him out of the window, just like the movie. We can see, of course, he's got the bracelets on his arm and everything, and then all of a sudden, just like the movie, the pod comes and rescues him, and he suits up. He suits up. I mean, Yes, you can just see that Arthur Parsons and the team at TT Games, they listen. You can never say anymore that these guys don't listen. These guys and girls who make these games are brilliant. They're probably my favorite developer because, you know, you just ask something. Not everything makes it into a game, obviously, but it's very likely that something you request will make it into a game, and that is just brilliant. They always listen to really good ideas that people have, and it's just great. I mean, I see so many people that I know, and they request an idea, and then I play the game, and I'm like, whoa, what you wanted to see in the game is here, and it's crazy. And the same goes to these suit-ups, because these are being requested not just by myself, but by many other people that I know, and many other fans on the channel. I mean, we all want to see Iron Man be able to get in and out of all these cool suits from Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Avengers, and Age of Ultron. So the fact that we see him in this cutscene is just so cool. Now then, to settle down for a second, I know a lot of people are going to be saying, well, hang on a minute, this is clearly a cutscene. Yes, okay, it is clear as day that this is a cutscene in the trailer. But here's the thing. Why on earth would they show one of the most highly requested features in the first trailer if it's not in the game? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. What I think is that was a tease, for starters. It was definitely a tease that it is in the game. And plus, you know, if you think about the pre-order bonus we got, the Silver Centurion, that is such an obscure suit. You know, not many people know about that except for the fans. So the fans have been requesting that suit so many times, and that is the pre-order bonus. So it's kind of obvious to me that that is going to be in the game, and that suit-ups are going to be in the game. These all seem like little teasers, and Arthur Parsons is no stranger to suit-up teasers. I mean, just the other day he put up a picture on Twitter that said keep calm and suit up. Now come on, you can't tell me that isn't a big tease. But you know, I could be wrong, but honestly I think I'm right, and I don't like to say that. I don't like to be sounding like I'm full of myself, but seriously, I do think I'm right. I think at E3 we're going to see something. I mean, you know, we might not see suit ups, he might just talk about it, but I think E3 is going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to see what they show. Now this is an extremely awesome shot from the trailer. We can of course see the big giant Chitauri looking thing come in and just destroy everything, you know, destroys all these buildings. It's crazy, and it's so cool to see this in Lego form, because I remember when the very first Avengers Lego sets came out and I saw them in the store and I was thinking, why haven't they made one of these? I could be wrong, but I don't recall seeing one of these in an actual Lego set, which is kind of crazy, because how cool would that be? Having a massive Chitauri looking monster on your desk or something. I just think that would be awesome. And of course, you know, if you have the right pieces, you might be able to make it, because if you didn't know, all the pieces and all the things you see in the Lego games, so like this for example, is actually possible to make. If you knew how to make it, you would absolutely be able to make this set. They have to do that. That's one of the things they have to remember with the Lego games. Once they actually design a model, they have to send it off to Lego, and Lego have to check if it's actually humanly possible to make that in real life. And yeah, you could probably make this if you had the right pieces, which is insane. I mean, if someone manages to make this, I'd be completely shocked, because that would just be so cool. Now here's something that is very interesting. So in the trailer we see, of course, Bruce Banner transforming into the Hulk. Now the first thing I have to mention here is great. You know, it's great to see that he can finally do that, because I have to admit, I would be quite disappointed if they took out one of the coolest features in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. I mean, I don't think I've seen any other Marvel game before LEGO Marvel Superheroes that let you play as Bruce Banner and transform into the Hulk at any time. I mean, it's just such a cool feature, so I'm so glad it's still in the game. But here's the thing, it's exactly the same as the first game. Now, like I said before, you know, don't always think that this is going to be the exact same way it's going to be in the actual game, because it could just be a placeholder. They could just be using this temporary just to show it off in the trailer, and then in the final game he'll have a completely different animation. I think it would be cool to see a different animation, but honestly, if they don't, then it's not really a big deal to me. I do hope that the Avengers Age of Ultron, I do hope we get a new Bruce Banner as well, because I love the new Hulk. He looks great. It's a really cool design. So if we get like a new Bruce Banner to go along with a new Hulk, that would be really cool. Here, of course, we can see Hulk smashing down the big Chitauri looking thing. We can see Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Captain America, and Hawkeye. And this is just such a well-made recreation of what happens in the movie. I mean, they've really done a great job on this already. I can't wait to see what they've done with Avengers, because, you know, this already looks exciting. I absolutely love the Avengers. I'm not actually sure which one I like more, because I've seen both and I love both. But, you know, I think we're going to see some extremely cool missions from the Avengers Age of Ultron. I mean, this looks cool already, but man, they could do some crazy stuff with Avengers Age of Ultron. I can't wait to see it. Now, in this part of the trailer, we see Hulk taking some selfies. Now, there's two things to mention here. One, great, you know, it's showing that this kind of trailer was actually quite serious through the rest of it until this part where Hulk takes a selfie. So it's still, you know, showing you that this is still a LEGO game and still expect humor. Not, obviously, it doesn't, I think the cool thing about these LEGO games is it doesn't flood you with humor. You know, it doesn't make fun of the property or anything like that. And if anything, it's inspired by it and it just makes it its own. But at the same time, it pays respect to the property, and it's very well done. But here's the thing about this: if you look carefully, you can see when Hulk is taking the selfie that Hawkeye is moving around and everything. This isn't a cutscene, this is actual gameplay. So is this like a thing that you can do in the middle of gameplay? You can actually take a selfie? Or is it just, you know, basically if you remember from LEGO Marvel Superheroes, there was that fight with Abomination and you had to basically press buttons to fight him. Is it going to be like that, and then the ending part, once you've pressed all the buttons, is Hulk taking a selfie? That could be it, but you know, we'll have to see. This is just a really quick part of the trailer where we see Loki without his helmet, and I think without his cape as well, because he had a cape in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, so that's interesting. So are we going to be able to play as a brand new version of Loki as well? Personally, I think it'd be really cool if we have both, because it was just, you know, it's nice to have the one with horns, because that's from the Avengers and the first Thor movie, but it would also be nice to have the one without the horns helmet and without the cape as well, because that's kind of more reminiscent to, say, Thor the Dark World or something like that. It's just nice, even though it's just small little changes with no helmet and no cape, it still looks really cool, so it would definitely be nice to see that in the game. The last part of gameplay we see in this trailer, we see Iron Man. We see him in the little suit pod of when basically Loki throws Tony out of the tower. And this is pretty much the end of the suit up that we see in the cutscene. And again, honestly, even though it's in a cutscene, I still think it's going to be in the game. I still think in some way you're going to be able to suit up. There might be multiple versions, there might be just one way to do it, but I'm still so certain that you're going to be able to do it, and it's going to be so cool. I mean, just this part of the trailer alone was just so cool, and I can't wait to see the whole thing in action in the final game. Now, I can't miss out the awesome Ultron tease at the end of this extremely cool trailer. And wow, you know, Ultron, even in LEGO form, looks extremely menacing. It just looks amazing. But here's the thing about Ultron in LEGO Marvel. Well, not LEGO Marvel, but the actual LEGO sets. With the LEGO sets for Avengers Age of Ultron, you know, I saw Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver, and I thought, great, you know, they look all awesome, no problems with them whatsoever. I mean, yeah, they look great. But I saw Ultron, and I thought he looked really cool, but there was just something missing from it, something I didn't like that was missing from the actual design. And honestly, this sounds stupid, but I think it was just because it wasn't alive, it wasn't in the game, because right here it is perfect. You know, glowing red eyes, glowing red mouth, he just looks menacing, he looks like Ultron from the movies, and it's great. You know, it's just awesome, and I can't wait to play as them. And if you know the LEGO games, you know how this works. You know, this character will be a boss battle or something, and then somewhere down the line, you'll be able to unlock him and play as him for yourself. And, you know, if New York City is back and we get to run around in it, just imagine running around and blowing up cars and everything as Ultron. That would just be so much fun. And just having, like, the co-op partner as one of his Ultron bots, that would just be so cool. Another thing to mention is so many people keep asking me, you know, in the comments and things, will we see characters like Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Vision? Well, here's the thing. You play through the Avengers, and of course you play through the Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Vision, and of course Ultron as well, they are all really important characters in Avengers Age of Ultron. And even if, you know, let's say they're not actually playable in a mission, they will absolutely be unlockable somehow in the game. I mean, it's just obvious. Obviously, I can't confirm anything, nothing's been finalized, but if I had to guess, then yes, I would definitely say that Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Vision will be playable, and I can't wait to see what they do with them. I can't wait to see Vision's abilities in game. I hope Scarlet Witch is really destructive, and I really hope that Quicksilver you know, improves the speed, because the speed characters, you know, the speedy characters like the Flash and things in the LEGO games haven't always been the best thing. You know, sometimes they're too slow, and sometimes they're just not fast enough in the open world and things like that. So hopefully Quicksilver in LEGO Marvel's Avengers will be extremely fast and just a really fun character to play as. And last but not least, we can of course see that LEGO Marvel's Avengers will be available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PC, Wii U, and Nintendo 3DS, and it will be available this winter. Now, yes, winter. Now, I believe it was this fall at first, but they've pushed it back to winter. Now, personally, I know a lot of people might be disappointed in that because they want it now, like me. I do want it now. But here's the thing. The fact that they've pushed it back to winter proves to me that this game's going to be bigger than what we're expecting. I mean, no one pushes a game back to downgrade it or to make it, to reduce the features, to remove certain things from the game. Like, look at Arkham Knight. That game looks amazing now because they pushed it back and because they've had more time to improve it. So LEGO Marvel's Avengers being pushed back definitely means that we're going to get an even better game. We're going to get even more content, and hopefully, that gives them a chance to add more MCU content, and hopefully maybe more plans for, say, a season pass or something. I would love to see a season pass for LEGO Marvel's Avengers with maybe, content from, say, Daredevil, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, something like that. If they could do that, that would be amazing. I mean, just imagine having like a LEGO Daredevil mission. That would just be so cool. But, these are all just speculation at the moment. But if they could do that, that would be great. And I'm sure we have a lot of exciting times ahead. And yeah, I'll be right there with everyone. I'll be covering this game both before and after launch. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, definitely stay tuned for next week where I'll be covering everything that happens at E3 on LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Any little bit of news or anything, any screenshots, news, any trailers I have to analyze, any gameplay, all of that I will do my best to analyze on the channel, and it should be a lot of fun. I mean, I can't wait to talk about this game. I can't wait to find out about all these new features that they're adding, and this trailer alone has got me excited. I can't wait to see what is hidden behind closed doors, what we don't know about yet. It's awesome. It's going to be really exciting, and I hope you're all as excited as me because I can't wait. Alright guys, so I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.